Hi there, welcome to Way to Grow. I'm Shaw TV's Laura Ravian. With me is Dwayne Friesen from Lacoste, but Bob is not here. Now, Bob has been hosting this segment for years with you guys, but
yeah, Bob was a great student, and he's since moved on now to other things, but he kind of felt he's reached a maturity level, a learning level on Way to Grow now that that he was threatening my position here, is maybe taking over the show. So he's moved on, and you've stepped in now, and so now we've got, we're going to finish off the year together, and you're a hungry listener and a student here, so we'll see what we can teach you.
Indeed, I know not very much, but I'm very interested in gardening, so I've got lots of great questions for you. But today we're going to start off by learning about corn. What are we looking at here? Now, this is local corn.
This is local corn, and we're now at the end of August, and it hasn't been a banner year for veggie growers this year. Our cool, wet weather has really played havoc with scheduling. Everything's a bit later, but yes, we're dealing, we're into the middle of August, or third week in August, and we're finally getting our good local corn showing up. And sweet corn is it's probably one of the landmarks of summer. Everybody loves sweet corn. You go to any festival, and there's always sweet corn around. So I thought we'd take a little bit of time to talk about the virtues of sweet corn, and that there is maybe a little bit more to sweet corn than you think. And some of this you may want to apply for next spring when you're thinking of seeding your own corn in your yard. Now, there are 3 types of sweet corn available, and they're all sweet, but some are sweeter than others. And we've grown up with the normal, I'll put a name out there, Golden Bantam. Would probably be a corn variety that you might be familiar with, referred to as a normal sugary corn. It's going to be nice and sweet. It's going to be very creamy if you want to use it for processing and for cream corn, but also great for fresh eating. But of course, you can never leave things at that, right? You're always going to be working on a few things. So we've developed a new corn, or a couple of new varieties, and the first one is the super sweet. And you've probably heard of those, and you'll go and look at the seed racks, and you'll see it described as early super sweet, or some kind of super sweet within the name. And what that designates is going to be a hybrid variety of corn, which is bred for high sugar content. And these corns are very high in sugar. They're very sweet. The kernels are going to be very firm. So unlike that Golden Bantam, where you can't use it for a cream corn, it's going to be a lot more firm. So when you bite into it, it's going to pop.
Okay.
So you're going to get that great firm feeling on it, and especially when you're biting into it, and it's going to blow your mind out with how sweet it is. It's a super great corn, but it comes with a drawback.
Okay. Because
it is a hybrid, it has to be planted separately. So the cross-pollination, and that's going on with these, with the silks here, the tassels on it. The cross-pollination, it could pick up the flavors from other corns. So the super sweet corns have to be growing off on their own. So that would be something to keep in mind when you're planting in the spring.
Okay.
So we go to the third variety of corn, which is just going to be the sugar enhanced. So we talked about super sweet. Now we're going to sugar enhanced. Again, another hybrid. But with the sugar enhanced, it's going to be a little bit more easier for the home garden to grow. You're not worried about the cross-pollination, so you can plant it in amongst your other corns. It's going to be a little bit more smoother and buttery in its texture. It's not going to have that same type of pop as the super sweet corn, but it still is going to be really sweet. And all 3 of these varieties of corns, the normal sugary, the super sweet, and the super enhanced, all have either late, medium, or early varieties. So you can extend your season, your picking season. So you can have it starting now, and if we have a nice warm fall, as we're hoping we're going to have this year, you can extend that season going right into September or later. And if we're in different zones of the country, you'd be finding you can get fresh sweet corn right up through October. So keep that in mind when you're doing your corn.
I've already learned a lot. That's why I'm not saying anything. I'm just absorbing it all. There's lots to learn about corn. I had no idea.
Lots to learn about corn. We haven't even talked about colors. You can get it in. You're going to get your regular yellow. You're going to get white and your bicolors. And the bicolors are very popular too. And again, you can get those in the early and medium and late varieties. So you know, corn isn't just a one-time deal. You can extend that season. Keep note of the ripening times on it, so you can and the types of corn that you can use in your garden. Now, when do you pick corn?
You know, my question was going to be, how do you know when it's ripe? Because I would just think when it gets big enough, but obviously there's more to it.
Yeah, when it gets big enough, the ears will be forming, but the easiest way to tell when your corn is ready to pick is when these silks start to turn brown, just like this is doing. Then that's your signal that the corn is ready to pick. Also, if you would want to try and husk the corn, it's going to be held very tightly to the ear itself. And if you get it open and it would poke some of the kernels, they would excrete a very white liquid on it. Then you know, do all those three things, you'll know for sure it's right. But the easiest one is just look at the silks. When the silks are brown, you know that they're ready to be picking.
Okay, well that's easy enough.
So now we get to the last thing.
Yes, eating.
Eating. So I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Are you a griller or are you a boiler?
I'm a griller. I like to soak the whole corn within its husk in the sink in water and then put it on the grill and kind of let it steam within its own husk.
Yeah, and surprisingly not many people know about the grilling method. So there's the regular traditional boiling method where you're putting it into boiling water. If you look at, ask different people, they'll say they'll boil the water first, add the corn, or they'll put the corn into the cold water. Either way works. I seem to find more people preferring adding just the corn to hot water. No salt.
Yeah, another one I learned today.
Yeah.
No, I was salting up my boiled corn like crazy.
Yeah, salt will toughen up the kernels. Some will add a little bit of sugar instead, but really we're dealing with sweet corn. You don't really have to add the sugar on it. So just boiling water. The grilling method is one that I actually really like, and that involves taking the whole ear of corn, leaving it husked. Some people will do a little bit of husking just to get the silks out of there, but it works just as well just to put the whole husk in water, soak it for minimum half an hour.
Okay.
Just so everything gets good and wet, putting it on your barbecue grill and leaving it for upwards of 15-20 minutes, turning it regularly. You may find that some of the husk will start to brown and burn, but that actually just seems to enhance the flavor. And if you actually get the kernel a little bit brown, it caramelizes that sugar in there. That sometimes is the tastiest portion of the kernel itself. Yep. And a great way to do it, it's a little bit hot than when you're husking, so you got to have a glove on when you're doing your husking on it. But it makes for great corn. It's a bit more of a unique flavor of it as opposed to the boiling of it. And of course, the other method would be, in today's day and age where you want things really fast, you could nuke it and just husking, wrapping either in wax paper or in plastic and nuking for about 2 minutes will give you some great fresh corn if you need something, if you're at work.
Yeah.
So you're back at Shaw.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and you're back in the coffee room, you need some corn. Just go, you can quickly go grill some in the microwave.
We'll have to borrow some to take back.
You can do that.
Now the different varieties, cooking methods don't really affect with the different sweetnesses, right?
No, that part will all stay the same.
Okay. Okay, so if people want more information or they want to learn more about this, you're inviting people to come on down here and ask you questions.
You can come down if you have any questions about any of the sweet corn or any of the other vegetables that we have here. It's all local grown from here in Manitoba. You can come down to 2787 St. Mary's Road. You can talk to myself or any of the staff here, or you can come visit us online at lacossegardencentre.ca.